Qatar has halted the LNG production at its major base. It supplies nearly 20% of the world's supply, exporting 83 million tonnes last year. And that, of course, went to Europe, Asia and Australia. And remember, of course, Europe needs it because it's not getting stuff from Russia. US production is strained, trying to pick up the slack, bearing in mind they haven't built the terminals, let alone have enough tankers and shipping to get the stuff that they've got already there. Qatar's LNG trade partners are looking elsewhere. Muthu Chezhian is the chief executive of Amigo LNG. Good to see you. Very kind of you to join us. How bad is this situation in your view tonight? How sort of tight is the LNG market?
Hello, Richard. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me here. The situation is pretty dire. You're talking about the world's single largest producer calling for force majeure, and almost 88 million tons per annum goes out from that region. And almost 85% of that goes towards Asia, around 9% goes towards the European market. And that means you're critically cutting down a critical artery. It's not happened ever before. And
Right.
The rest of the world doesn't have enough supplementary LNG to fill in this market.
That was my next question. Is this just a case of, well, you can't get it there, but if you pay more, you'll be able to get it over there?
LNG is the supply chain is very tight out here. You need to have specialized ships. You need to have terminals. The terminals need to have a lot of storage to make it happen. So even if someone is able to get extra cargoes, and most of those cargoes in LNG are signed up for 15 years, 20 years, we call it long-term LNG SPA, sales and purchase agreements. And almost across the world, all producing facilities in the world, I would say like 85 to 95% of that is signed up on long-term basis.
Right.
So very little volume, 5 to 10% is typically kept for trading, mid-term trading or short spot trading. So one thing is to secure the cargo, then is to find a ship which is available, and ultimately storage. How much can you store at your local facility? So it's a combination of multiple problems, and there are not that many ships in the world either. Probably 700 ships which are operational right now. There are 300 new ships which are placed in order, but this is going to take another 3 years for these new ships to come in place.
How long can you store the stuff for, whether it be in tankers on the ground, on shore, waiting to pump offshore? So after it comes out the ground and it's been refined and it's been processed, how long have you got before you've got to get it on a ship and get it to its destination before either it needs retreating or it becomes useless?
Okay, when the LNG gets loaded to the ship, I mean, as a project developer, as an owner, what we tend to do is we need to get it out as soon as we can. It's like having a refrigerated cargo in your backyard. You don't want to do that. You want to get it out as soon as you can. And the ships, once it gets into the ships tanked, there is a significant charter fee for these ships. A few weeks ago, the charter fee was about $40,000 to $45,000 a day. The last few days, we have seen the $200,000 per day charter rates. So the shipping cost becomes exorbitant. You can't store it forever because the LNG is compressed, almost liquefied to 1/600 in terms of volume. And it's stored at minus 162 degrees Celsius, which makes it, the natural tendency is to evaporate or get back to ambient temperature. So when you put it into a closed tank, whatever type of tank it may be, it can be a full containment or a ship tank, it finds a way to it tends to evaporate. And that's called boil off gas. And you lose 0.15% every day. On top of it, you're paying like 150, 200,000. The latest numbers I've seen is about $250,000 to $300,000 daily, 10x multiple as what was there 2 weeks ago. So if your ship is stranded for 10 days, you're talking about $2-3 million of cost, and then you're starting to lose 1.5% over a 10-day period.
Good grief.
That's not good economics.
So, assuming all these long-term contracts that you've been telling me about, at what point are the suppliers, both the shippers and the extractors and the refiners? At what point are they ringing up the countries or the end users and the purchasers and saying, I'm sorry, that load that we were going to deliver so you could keep the lights on in Singapore or wherever it might be in the world, I'm sorry, that load is not going to be delivered. You'll have to think about something else.
Okay, so the good thing about LNG contracts is, let's say our company, Amigo LNG in Mexico, has an agreement with a long-term off-taker in Southeast Asia. The contracts cannot be violated. So we have to supply those long-term contracts. It's only the residual volumes which become important right now. So it's the buyers who are calling the producers and asking for how much volumes are available. In the last 3 days, two large, ultra-large energy companies have reached out and for alternative markets to say, where else can I source this LNG? If this situation is going to arise again, where do I create my energy security? So it's more the buyers who are raising the question, and and regions outside the Middle East are getting to be more important right now.
We will talk more, sir, as this goes on. It will get, as if it gets worse, then we'll need you to help us understand it. Thank you for look, I don't think it's not lost on me, sir, that you have got up very early in Singapore to speak to us this morning. I can see it's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm very grateful that you can go now and have your breakfast. Thank you, sir, taking time. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it.
Thank you.